Hi, this is David Orlofsky, and welcome to the Parsha in 5, where in 5 minutes we give you a little idea on the Parsha. And this is, of course, Parsha's Bo. How could I not come to Parsha's Bo and not be moved by the fact that it is my Bar Mitzvah Parsha? Vayomer Hashem el Moshe, Bo el Paro, ki ani. Only a bar mitzvah boy can learn like that. Anybody else would be beaten to death. But, back then you got some Manischewitz wine and some sponge cake. It was worth it. So the old days, there might have been herring. I don't remember. I think they had those little filter fish balls with the frilly toothpicks. But anyhow, so Parsha's Bo. The word Bo is, of course, it means in Gematria 3. That is the most famous word on Parsha's Bo. Parsha's Bo in Gematria equals 3 because it's 3 makos in this week's Parsha. The last 3 makos are here. And that's Bo of Gematria. Yeah. If you want to flesh that out, you could point out that last week's Parsha, there were 7. And of course, the first 2 letters of this week's Parsha spell out 3. There's only 2 letters, but okay. If you go to last week's Parsha, Ve'era, the first 2 letters spell out 7 because there were 7 makos. Huh? How's that? But anyway, but Bo is 3. But Bo, you could have written Av. And also equals 3. You could have written So, so what's Bo? Bo is come together. That's why it's Beis Aleph. Beis is 2 that become 1. That's Bo. Av, which is a father, makes sense because it's 1 that becomes 2. You have a kid, now you're 2. Right? Bo is we come together and make 1. That's the advantage of Bo. Yeah. So we understand the concept of this parsha is that we are coming out of Mitzrayim and going to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As the Medrash says, Paro says, I'm transferring you from my Rishus to Hashem's Rishus. There's a Bo, there's us coming. And that explains, of course, why the parsha ends with the mitzvah of tefillin. A very strange thing with the mitzvah of tefillin, because it says you put it totafos bein einecha. And I had always learned that the Karaites used to put their tefillin over here because it's bein einecha. I was teaching in Or Sameach once, and I had a kid who said he was a Karaite. And he says it's not true. I don't know if he's the definitive Karaite, but he might be a Kara wrong. But they put it over here. It's bein einecha. We put it up over here. So we say, well, if you follow up, it comes over here. But that's kind of strange. So why do we put the tefillin up over here instead of over here? And the answer is because if you ever made a science fair project, so there's about 4 of them that people make, the little volcano with the baking soda, and and there's always someone who buys the model of an eye. So as you probably know, you don't see over here. You see over here. This is the optic nerve. Yeah. Here, what you see are 2 separate images that are reversed and upside down. And they go to the back of your head through the ganglia. Somebody paid attention during biology. And goes to the back of the optic nerve. That's why someone gets hit in the back of the head, they can't see. I don't understand what it has to do with anything, because the optic nerve is here. And so this is not what you see over here. And so the 2 eyes have to join together. What you see with the eyes is not real. The bays of your eyes have to join together to form one true picture. And so the 2 images go via the ganglia to the optic nerve. By the way, they don't go straight back. They crisscross right over here. This is literally bein einecha. This is where your images of your 2 eyes meet. And where you put the knot of the tefillin is the optic nerve, because this is where you really see. Because The tefillin captures the fact that this world is the Beis that becomes the Aleph. What does that mean? Kodesh Baruch Hu told Moshe back in Parsha Shmos, I'm taking you out of Egypt for a purpose to bring you to Har Sinai and get the Torah. That is the fourth lashon of Geula, right? To bring you and give you the Torah. And the Torah begins with the Aleph of Anochi. Creation begins with the Beis of Bereshis, because the whole Beis, which is two, has the purpose of becoming the one of Anochi, where we recognize Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Anochi, I am the Lord your God. I become one. And that's the whole message of Yetzias Mitzrayim. And this is, of course, the Parsha of Yetzias Mitzrayim. Have a good Shabbos.